years ago, however long it's been. I'm starting to redo it again now.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I'm rewriting my entire website because it doesn't represent the current me.
Yes. I
It's
get
been
that.
a lot of fun to simplify it, and there's lots of new projects and things like that. But and money is a big thing. I thought that becoming rich and famous would make me happy, and it didn't. It was fun, but it didn't make me happy. And money comes and goes. You can lose your money in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Stock markets do all kinds of things. So I don't run my life based on fame or fortune any longer. I run my life based on authenticity and following sort of basic spiritual principles that I believe in that work.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I always had that desire to be that famous person, right? I don't have that desire anymore. I mean, if it comes, it comes, but I don't have that desire because the simplicity of life and serving other people is it's so yummy and it makes me feel good. It fills me up and it helps other people. And I love it when people are getting rid of stress and moving on and getting the results that they're looking for. So that's a great thing. Speaking of helping others get rid of stress, how do you do that? How do you get them to get rid of stress and feel and get rid of that feeling of being stuck and just finding more joy in their life? How do you do that with your clients?
Well, you know, you have to sort of figure out what's making you unhappy. So if you feel stuck, why is that person? Everyone has a different story. That's why I don't coach groups. At one time, everyone has a different story. So if someone comes to me and they say, I just feel stuck, I ask them why. And they say, well, I'm in a blah marriage and I hate my job and my kids are driving me nuts. So when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? So with one of my clients, that's what we did. We looked at, her marriage and what were the good parts? What were the bad parts? Does she really want to walk away from this? Or is she just accepting that people change? I had another client, and this is one of my favorite stories, who was raised a devout Christian. And, but she was also raised to believe that she was never good enough,
Hmm.
no matter what she did, which caused a lot of issues for her health and such. So I just simply asked her, did she really believe that Jesus Christ was part of her existence? And she said, oh, absolutely. So I said, well, if Jesus is in you, if that's what you believe, then how imperfect can you possibly be? And her whole face changed, her whole life changed. So it's just a simple thing of looking at yourself honestly and deeply, and here's the important part, kindly.
Yes, we need to be kind to ourselves
Yeah.
and
And
talk kindly to ourselves because, boy, we say terrible things to ourselves, right? I know I used to, and I'm so much more joyful that I don't do that anymore. And I just laugh at myself because I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do things wrong. And then I just laugh, I'm like, all right.
yeah, I mean, and give yourself credit. I mean, I've never, every single client I've ever, well, maybe there were one or two, but all the clients I've worked with always say to me, oh my God, if it weren't for you, Kevin, I would not have changed. My life would be miserable. And I say, no, 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 no. You changed. I guided you,
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
my instincts. And so, in a way, we have to empower each other for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what you want. You have to know what you want.
Yeah. And we can only know what we want once we understand what we don't want. And it's just a simple concept that people go, huh, when they hear that, if you don't know what you don't want, you don't know what you want. If I've never tried spinach before, I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know if I want that. When I try it, I liked it. So I know I want spinach. It's a good thing. So it stays on the checklist. One of the things that I really want to speak to when we come back after the break is your Dulcimeditation. And I think that's very interesting. But how long have you been a life coach?
I guess 3, 4 years.
Yeah, nice, 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 nice. And serve so many people and help them their growth. And just a quickly, very, very ever so briefly, what does that feel like to you every time you really make somebody help somebody through a breakthrough?
Oh, it's like a great energy.
Yeah.
It's better than a standing ovation, really.
So true. I've never heard that connection, but so true. So
That's
true.
that's what I aim for when I give concerts. Is you always want that like standing ovation. But
Yeah.
because my clients that I work with stay with me quite a while, but they become family. So it's and we touch base, and I keep them on in line.
Yeah. 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 I always say we become friends. My clients become friends, and then it's time for them to go. So you're listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I'm speaking to the wonderful Kevin Roth, kevinroth.org. If you want to look him up, definitely look him up. And he has a book called Between the Notes. We're going to take a short break and be right back. Welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne. And if you'd like to be a guest or lift up your business, product, or not for profit, or if you have questions or comments, just email us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. That's healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. Now, right back to our guest, Kevin Roth. Kevin, so happy to have you with us. kevinroth.org, and he has a book called Between the Notes, and he also has music all on Spotify, so look him up. It's just beautiful. We were talking about that. Now, you play the dulcimer, but you have Dulcimeditation. Let's talk about that, because as you know, I'm a Kundalini meditative practitioner, and actually, you have a story about Yogi Nada.
Yoga, Yogananda.
Nanda, sorry.
Yeah. Well, so think of a baby. This is about dulcimeditation. So when a baby's in a crib and it's crying, the parent comes in and they wind up the toy above its head, and the kid stops crying because he's fascinated with the toy, right? So dulcimeditation works like that. The dulcimer is very easy to play. I sell them if you're interested at kevinroth.org. It's called a cosmic meditation dulcimer, but you don't need to get one from me. You can get one, a lot of different places. But so dulcimeditation is you play very, very, very simply, which I teach. I teach on Zoom. And while your mind is occupied listening to the music, you ask your inner voice, what do I need to know? And you always get an answer.
Always.
Like, what am I upset about? You might think it's about shopping or something. But when you really ask what is really going on, what happens is the answer may be, I'm rushing around to get everything done and I need to just slow down. Without you playing the instrument and being involved in a physical activity, your mind will wander. So if you just sit and you listen to my album, Dulcimeditation, your mind listens to the music, but it wanders. Your mind can't do three things. It can walk and chew gum, basically. So give it something to do, which is very beautiful, which is just strum the dulcimer or finger pick it, and then take time out, AKA, all right, the kids are out playing, now I can get my homework done, and ask yourself, what do I need to know? What's going on? So that's what Dulcimeditation is.
Yeah, that's what attracted me to Kundalini, because it has music and it has action. It has, the yoga actions or hand actions. And I was so focused on that, I quieted the little playground in my head down enough to be able to ask the question,
Yeah.
get and receive the answers. So, because years ago when I was 18, and I think I've told the story on the show before, I read a book. I wanted to learn how to meditate. I thought it was so cool. And I read the book and it said, picture a white page. And I did. And I was like, the voices in my head started just going, and all these things I started thinking about. And I was like, I can't do this. And for years, I didn't do it until I learned about Kundalini. And that distracted me enough to be able to focus, to be able to quiet everything down. And it sounds like this does the same thing. I love that you not only teach it online, but also that you sell the instrument and you continue that and educate that and keep that tradition in our society. I love that. What made you decide to sell that as well?
Because that's what I do. And so when I got into coaching, that was suggested. Because I said, well, if I'm going to be a life coach, I got to kind of put down the music. And they said, no, 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 no. What you're doing,
Incorporate it.
incorporate it. And that's when it all kind of came together.
Yeah, yeah, totally understand. As a singer, I love Kundalini too because I get to chant and I get to sing, and it's just beautiful the feedback that I get from that. Um, how, tell us some more about how specifically you help people change their lives for the better. What is your process? If someone wants to work with Kevin Roth, what's your process? What can they anticipate and expect?
So the first couple months, we get to know each other and we begin to draw a roadmap for what you want. So think of building a house. You have to clear the land and you need to get a foundation going before you put up the frame. As we dig down deeper, we discover what matters to you, what you want to get rid of, what you want to change. And I have you really deeply understand why you want that. Because if you don't know why you want to lose weight, you're not going to lose weight. It may be that, well, I just want to look better, but you need to go a little bit deeper with that kind of stuff, because it's like, for instance, losing weight, it's never really about just the food. So, it's a very intimate, personal kind of relationship. And then I begin to introduce spirituality or whatever you believe, which could be Buddhism, could be that me. It sounds like me over there, yeah.
It is you.
And then it's from one of my recordings.
It's
And
called Jake's Lullaby.
yeah, oh, that's pretty. That's one I wrote. That's on my brand new album, Dulcimeditation. Yeah, so we work together and we work on the game plan and how to combine, your life work, your role with your soul, and
Oh,
become the person that you want to be.
beautiful. Roll with your soul. I love that. Yeah, I mean, so many of us are struggling to find our purpose and to find our place. And we really need to go inside. I say all our success codes are inside, and what sounds like you're doing is helping them tap into that. And a real life coach like yourself is going to do that. You're just guiding. That's what we do as coaches. We're just guiding. We don't tell you what to do. We just give you suggestions. You make decisions. So I love the guidance that you provide. Does balance, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual, that's all important as part of our journey. So how does that all fit in for you? Because I know that all that is important in not only my journey, but that of my clients.
So that's the mind. I mean, everything is the mind. So if you are feeling out of balance emotionally, mentally, physically, or spiritually, there are things in the book that I tell you to do that help bring you back into clarity and into balance. So the interesting thing about the mind is that there really isn't anything physical called the mind. You look at the brain, you can't find something called the mind. So what is going on in our lives? We're really part of consciousness. Then you need to understand what consciousness is, who you really are, that you're really not this body, this form. And you can watch any near-death experiencers from doctors and psychiatrists that have had them, and they'll explain to you that, as will quantum physics, which is why I teach spirituality and science within my coaching, what's real and what's not real. Because why bother with something that's temporary, that's not going to be around?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So it's funny because our culture is so opposite of everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, but they're waking up. We're waking up. I have a friend who is just thinks the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and I have a lot of hope because the young people are the ones that are voting, and they don't want climate change. They don't want to deal with the politics that we're looking at on TV now.
Yeah.
They don't want the fires and the storms and the hurricanes in San Diego. They want a different life. And so they're the ones that are going to vote these old geezers out and who are aware of these spiritual things. I mean, I talked to 20-year-olds who were like metaphysicians, It's like, how do you know? So I have great hope. I think it's great.
As do
I'm,
I. I think a lot of light leaders, and coaches, and we're all coming out of the woodworks for a reason. It's time that we elevate the people around us who are willing and ready to take those steps. I find the same thing, Kevin. I